Hello and welcome back to Disco Elysium. Last time we cracked this case wide open, and this time there's a couple of things we could do. We could talk to the guy yelling right to work, confront him about it. We could ask maybe about the armored boots. Maybe they could tell us what the footprints look like, because that would be good to know, right? Because we found those dusty footprints up at Clausius' room. So knowing if that matches the description could be very helpful. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that first.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Alright, did you find out more about the owner of the armored boots?
Yes. It took some convincing, but I got the mercenary's name and a few biographical details. Are you ready?
Yes.
The lieutenant leans in to listen, notebook in hand.
Shoot.
That suit of armor was issued to an Oranese citizen named Ellis Kortenaer. That's Ellis Kortenaer. Exact date of birth, unknown. He was signed into the Lelystad County Neonatal Care Unit on 28th of February, '09.
Neonatal care unit?
He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. He spent 4 months in the neonatal unit, survived apparently, and was assigned to a foster family at 2. This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered the Eastbrand Military Academy in Vredefort at 17, then served in the Oranese forces till he was honorably discharged in 41, just a year before the Seminese conflict. Then the armor followed him to Seminine, or at least I assume it did, and that's it. There are no records of his employment in Crenel, or any of its other incarnations, or him even entering Revachon.
Wait, he was found in a leaf compactor?
It's a garden tool used to press leaves into these cubes. It's a detail the hospital had, the only detail in these files. So I thought it would be good for you to know.
Well, thank you for that, Alice.
It is. Thank you, Alice.
Any information on his foster parents?
None, officer. Sorry.
Alright, so all we have to connect him to Crenel is the armor.
Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their inventory. Thank you, Alice. Great work.
No problem, Lieutenant.
She sounds pleased.
A compliment from Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Not bad.
Alright, well, we have his name and service record now.
The name. This is very good. Ellis Kortenaer.
He says to himself, okay.
Sometimes police work is about human dignity, about giving back names to anonymous victims.
I'm glad the inquiry was helpful to your investigation, officer. Did you have any other questions?
We could talk to the 41st again, tell them that we have our gun back.
Just a moment, officer.
10-4, come in, officer. Over.
I have successfully located my 9mm Villiers pistol. It's on me now and I won't lose it again.
10-4, sir. Roger that, and very glad to hear it. I will make relevant changes to the report.
Well, 10-10, over.
Roger that, 10-10, over and out.
Alrighty. Excellent stuff. Now that was worth it. And we've got a skill point, but what do we put it in? What would be useful? Like, pain threshold, shivers. Those kind of seem like for fun more than anything. Up there, that could be good. Drama, maybe. I mean, I'm feeling like this is gonna come to a confrontation between some people, and I'm thinking about what would be useful there. Maybe reaction speed? Maybe, Rhetoric is more about understanding what people try to say. I don't know if it's about what you want to say. Well, it's probably partially about that. Logic, encyclopedia, drama, conceptualization, shivers. Can't improve anything here. So maybe reaction speed. Sure. No, wait, actually let's look at it real quick. Half-light is the lowest one we can still upgrade, right? Yes, empathy can't be upgraded, suggestion can't be upgraded. Those are all at 3, 4, and 5. 5. The lowest one up there is 4. Let's increase half-light. Half-light. Wonderful. And it might be useful when it comes to pressuring, you know, the guy up there, Elias, what's his name, I think? Elias, I'm not sure. Pressuring him into saying things, maybe. So.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Are you a mercenary hired by Wild Pines?
Free flow of commerce!
Should we ask that? Sure.
Fucking wow.
He breathes out slowly, his giant chest deflating and his mouth slightly open.
You hear a tiny rattle, a small radio, cracking somewhere, an earpiece. I'm going to interpret that as a yes. There's a tribunal, and it won't be long until it's ready.
Damn.
How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course.
Oh right. By the way, what I said earlier on is stupid. Of course, this guy isn't Ellis. Ellis is dead. He's his friend, or colleague, or whatever. I don't know why I said that. Just completely left my brain that this guy isn't the one we were talking about.
There could be weapons aiming at us right now, somewhere above, in the buildings. The other merc. Don't push this, he's thinking. This is not the time.
Okay.
The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get his right to work dance back on.
I'm just going to leave. Okay, so we have that. We could talk. Right, of course. Evrard, I'm sure he has something to say about the fact that we know the truth now. Hello, Evrard.
Mr. Dubois, the word in Martinez is a certain police officer is once again happily reunited with his service weapon. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, Evrard.
I prefer my police officers old-fashioned like that, with a gun. You can do so many things with a gun that you can't do without one. Now, what can I help you with?
Look, my gun.
My. She's quite the looker, Harry. You can't imagine how pleased I am the two of you are reunited. Tell me, was it difficult to convince the pigs to give it up?
You could say that. She tried to kill me. Not at all. The important part is I got my gun back. Nah, it wasn't difficult.
I knew you could handle it. I know my special policeman. Anyway, I'm glad you're all right and armed again, Harry. Now, what can Everett Clare do for you?
There should be some more options, right? The murder?
Most certainly,
No?
Harry. Nothing brightens my day like brainstorming these things with you. Oh,
Maybe
they are
something?
simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
Okay, so we can't actually tell him that we know more than he thinks we know. The lynching, mercenaries, just
By all means,
about how they
Harry,
were hired.
what's on your mind?
The murder?
Most certainly, Harry. Nothing brightens my day like brainstorming
that was
these
the same
things.
thing.
By
My
all
bad.
means, Harry, what's on your mind?
Joyce doesn't really get us anything in that regard. A few details concerning the murder, no. Questions about the harbor, no. All right. So that was a bust, but we could walk over to Joyce and see what she has to say about all this. I'll be right back. And there we are. Now, does she have any new dialogue about that?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Okay, let's talk about the lynching.
Of course. Anything to help.
Okay, so we don't have to tell her
I'm
anything
sorry
about
to have
that.
been the bearer of bad news.
Okay.
If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
That's fine. Well, I guess we just talk to Klasia then. All right, there we are. Now, does she have anything to say to that?
It's always good to see you.
She cracks a weary smile, leaning back against the railing.
Something in her demeanor has changed. She's tired, consigned to her fate, to being here with you and what's to come.
The Hardy Boys told us what really happened.
I understand.
She puts her coffee mug on the table.
Just like that. No resistance. Her shoulders are slouched, her feet long and straight.
You don't look surprised. You were expecting this?
I knew there was a chance you'd get them to tell you. It's what you do. You're the police. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for wasting your time.
This is good. Clear the air first, between you two. Then move on to questions.
Okay.
Is it? Something is off here. Shush, I can't hear what she's saying. Let the miss speak. She's tall and thin and tired. A twig trying so hard not to break.
If you knew we would find out eventually, why did you waste our time?
Because of the Hardys. I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me. Out of the shit I'd gotten into.
Cool, I'm satisfied with this explanation. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I wouldn't go just tell everything to the cops either, if I'm being honest. Like, yeah, I get
am
it.
not. There is more here, miss.
You're right. There's more.
More?
You answer to the coalition government, and by extension, the moral intern.
She reaches for a new cigarette.
Briefly glancing over her shoulder to the sea, as she's done time and time again. A grand expanse of water reaches over the bay and to the horizon, golden grey in the noonlight.
What lies beyond it?
The Pearl, the Muindi Isola, the Occident, and then Oranje, the old world.
Is that why you're looking over your shoulder? You're afraid of the moral intern? What's the RCM's involvement with the moral intern got to do with this? The RCM isn't the lapdog of the moral intern. You don't have to worry. Is that why you're looking over your shoulder?
You share a database with them. You send people to their courts.
What's going on? What did you do?
Just business. But bad business for some people in the moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me. They will...
What happens if they do?
They will kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill, well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. This murder didn't have anything to do with me.
No?
Fucked. People after her. Moral intern people. This isn't Oranese lit.
Sure isn't.
Actually, this murder did have a little to do with her.
You said you studied Oranese Lit. What is with this fugitive stuff? What did you do to have these people after you? What happened here the night he died? Why did you call the cops if you're hiding? When was the window changed? Okay, I think we can go through the entire tree. Let's start at the top then.
I did. I also had a side job selling insurance that I was really good at. Got picked up by a bank. Competitive intelligence, they called it. After that, I sort of, transitioned out of the whole culture scene.
What did you do to have these people after you?
It's not nice, but it's not illegal. Not here in Revachol, or even in Oranje.
Well, then say it.
What exactly did you do?
Industrial espionage. I joined a business collective with the intention of betraying them. I did my job well enough to be asked to do it again. With a bigger company. The kind you really, really don't fuck with. I took their ledgers, 2 decades worth of accounting.
Wild Pines?
I need the names of the companies involved and who hired you.
He taps on his notebook.
The job was Lou's County Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Lou Scott conglomerate. That was the second job. The first was some printer company. You wouldn't know
Okay.
that.
So no company we had anything to do with yet.
As to who hired me for the job, I don't know. But they're after me too. Along with Lou Scott and their friends in the MI. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies. You're radioactive.
Lowe's Cap. These people engineer financial disasters in second world countries. The conglomerate also includes the Bank of Consecration, Airberg, and the popular Papalolo line of dairy products.
I'm sure there are people who have done much worse than that. We could also yell Papa Lola. Serves them right. When I am king, this savings bank will be first against the wall. You're right, this is bad. You've destroyed what people have built. That's a lot of shit you've gotten yourself into. I'm sure there are people who've done much worse than that.
Sure. I'm not a war criminal, but it was bad. People lost their jobs. Good people too, not just C-suite.
She shakes her head at the thought.
A lot of people got hurt. But that's just more of my shit you shouldn't have to deal with. You're solving a murder.
What happened here the night he died?
We were there. Together. In bed, I mean.
Tell me exactly what happened.
Okay. He was in a kneeling position. He had just entered me. I was on my back, looking at him. I heard the window behind me shatter, and I turned to look. There was a hole in the glass. I turned back to him. His eyes were looking through me, and his mouth was open. Dumb. I could see. I could.
Her chest rises and falls with each word. She keeps herself together and says it.
I knew he was dead. Before he fell down on top of me.
Then what happened?
He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. There. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow, not to scream, then ran downstairs.
There's a long pause. She just stands there, her arms by her side.
I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. It never came.
She's forgotten about her cigarette. The butt has burned right down to her fingernails.
I'm sorry this happened to you. Are you sure you're not making this up? That's a motherfucker. We're going to need more details. I'm sorry this happened to you.
So am I.
She looks down. Her cigarette has singed her fingers.
She throws it away and immediately proceeds to light another one.
What time was this? When did it happen? It would help us if you could be as precise as possible.
11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time. Around midnight.
It's okay. Were you inebriated?
Not as much as usual. He'd done a line, plus other things. I was drinking.
Wait. Titus said she was gurning her jaw off, much more than usual.
Titus said you look pretty high.
Oh, yeah. I did one of his lines, just to clear my head.
Did you hear or see the shooter in the course of this?
No,
What did you do then?
nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room downstairs. I got some clothes on and crawled back up, drew the blinds. Blood was coming from his mouth. Not a lot, just a little. He was still on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore, so I ran down and out of my room, into the hallway, down the stairs. I knew there would be people there.
What happened after you ran downstairs?
Sylvie was tending the bar. A lot of people were there. The Hardys were at the table in front of the stage. I think the Union box was full. Ruby was there too. They were having such a good time. I sat down and they all welcomed me. I didn't even have to say anything. Ruby knew something was wrong.
Ruby?
I was thinking the same thing. Was it that character I forgot about, or have we never heard that before? Before we continue, who is Ruby?
Ruby. You know, the leader.
The leader? Of what?
The Hardy Boys.
She says as if it's self-evident. I thought Hardy was the leader of the Hardy Boys.
Well, nominally, yes. Ruby's the one they go to when things happen, like things they need taken care of. She's the organizer.
I see, so that's the 8th Hardy.
This Ruby, in her phrasing, is entrusted with great power. She trusts her. So do the others.
So maybe we could take that to Evrard later.
Would you say she is the 8th Hardy Boy?
Why not?
Okay, let's go on. What then?
Well, Ruby said let's talk upstairs. I showed her the room. I've known these people since December. They know my situation, that I can't leave a paper trail. Ruby was the first one I told. She said she'd take care of this. It's what she does, you know, take care of things. I helped her get the body to the bathroom. We used a belt to pull him up under the shower, to keep him upright.
To mislead you, they were tampering with the body.
To produce lividity, matching a hanging?
Yes.
We completely missed the tampering. Looks like you got there in time. What was this, 20 minutes after death?
About 20, yes. Ruby explained it would make the blood... You know what he does.
She looks at the ground, then raises her light brown eyes to meet yours. Yeah, basically the red blood cells just start to fall out of solution and sink down to the lowest parts of the body, meaning that in this case the hands and feet would turn red, mostly. Yeah, then what did you do?
Ruby went outside to talk to Titus and the boys. I was just looking at Lely in the bathroom. I had to put his clothes back on. His armor, too. It was tough, but I've seen him take it off and put it on many times. It took Ruby maybe half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do. Make it look like a hanging. Ruby said they would.
What did you do while they were hanging him?
Ruby said to wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while. That we should lay low or something. So I did.
This Ruby, where's this Ruby now?
I don't know. I haven't seen her since.
Okay.
We will need to take this question to the Hardy Boys.
Interesting. Why did this Ruby go through so much trouble to hide something someone else did? Look into this later.
When it happened, did you hear a gunshot?
When he was shot? I may have. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything over the glass exploding.
The gunshot wasn't that loud. This is something to keep in mind when assessing the distance of the shot.
Did you kill Lely?
What? Why would I put myself through this? Insanity. Get myself cornered like this.
There's a silence.
He wouldn't have died if it weren't for me. I know that. But I would never hurt him.
He was a serviceman. He must have had a gun. Somewhere, lying around, close to her hand.
I really don't think she did it. I'm gonna be honest, I doubt it. I mean, she could have theoretically picked it up, put it in his mouth, shot him, a bullet goes out through the window. Theoretically, we could ask about it, just it's okay if you did it in self-defense.
I did not kill him to defend myself from rape. I told you before. That wasn't what happened.
True, sire. 'Tis true.
Okay. Okay, I'd like you to answer some other questions, miss.
Like what?
Could the people after you have killed him,
That's the first thing that went through my head when I heard the glass break.
and
I thought they'd found me. They've killed him to punish me. All last week, I've tried not to talk to anyone or be seen with anyone
she looks at her cigarette.
so they wouldn't be hurt. I've come to understand, however, this is paranoia. What happened didn't have anything to do with me.
Either way, something to consider.
We can't go after Loose Cap. Not yet. There are other, saner leads.
I don't ask you to, Lieutenant. If there's one thing I know, it's that you'll get nothing from there.
Why did you call the cops if you were hiding?
Because I'm an idiot.
The answer comes fast.
Which is an indicator of truth.
That is true.
Idiot. She's nothing of the sort.
So you would have us believe, but you're not? I don't think so. Why did you do it? So you would have us believe, but you're not.
You have to understand, the people around here, no one was making the call, and he kept rotting. And then they picked his clothes off, and that little fucker threw stones at him.
Her jaw is clenched. Her throat moves. It takes all her strength not to cave in and sob. Once. Just one time.
He kept throwing stones at him for 3 days. I could hear the thud. Thud. So I called you. I hope with all my heart it's not the last thing I do in Revachol.
She definitely called the cops. That was task complete. It could not have been a lie. That is impossible.
Okay, that's good. When was the window changed?
Last week. Angus and Titus's brother, I think he's called Tibbs, took care of it.
She takes a drag.
You should have another look at that window after this. Reconstruct the scene. It's right there.
In the bedroom inside?
Yes, you see the glass sparkling out of the corner of your eye.
Okay, I will do that. I think we're done here for now.
She nods, silently. She doesn't even smoke. Just picks up the cold coffee and holds it in her hands.
The lieutenant glances at you, then at the door.
He's thinking, are we done here?
In God's name, wake up? Could give it a shot.
But we are awake, sire. She has been forthcoming with sordid details women usually conceal. Most shocking details of the sexual kind. We are a bulwark, unbreached. If you have doubts, just give us one example of deceit. Just one, and we will gladly change our minds.
Just a proposition. Could the lurid explicitness conceal something less sensational but more illegal? I got nothing, you're right, wise counsel. It is silly of me to imply she's lied. I don't know, like, she's explained that they took a lot of drugs and, I mean, I'm just gonna click it.
Who is this personhood picking these seditious options? Can't you see the detective grows weary of your malcontent? Stop staring at her eyes and say something pertinent to the case. This is making you look like an amateur. It looks like this one's not waking up. You'll have to do it without pushing her further. At least for now.
We could upgrade drama at some point.